After nearly 3 decades of forging connections between the company and its clients, I now find myself holding an envelope with a termination letter, all in less than 10 minutes. A crisp, chilling farewell. I feel like I'm just another number on the payroll. A cost that needs to go. Victoria, today marks your final day. The words echoed across the sleek conference table, delivered in a tone completely void of emotion. Ethan Carter, the new managing partner of Lockwood and Barnett Consulting, stood out with his polished appearance and calculated demeanor. He viewed people as mere pawns, easily replaceable in his strategic game. I fixed my gaze on him, struggling to wrap my mind around what I had just heard. It was as if an unseen dagger had been thrust right into my back. I inhaled deeply, maintaining a steady voice. Did we have a thorough discussion about this decision? Ethan tilted his head, his cold eyes brimming with calculation. The leadership team came together and agreed on a decision. We're restructuring the client relations department to better align with our exciting new direction. Thank you for your incredible contributions over the past 27 years. However, so I'm not part of your plan anymore, right? I interrupted him, not wanting to listen to any more corporate cliches. Ethan shrugged, completely unbothered to deny it. He pushed a pale yellow envelope across the table in my direction. Your severance package is ready for you. Receive 2 months' salary and enjoy health coverage until the end of the quarter. Meet Janine from HR. I'll help you with the paperwork. I shot a look at Janine sitting next to Ethan, her expression tight with tension. She averted her eyes, clearly reluctant to be part of this purge. 2 months' salary, a meager reward for nearly 30 years of unwavering dedication, for the countless sleepless nights spent strategizing, and for the moments I salvaged contracts teetering on the edge of slipping into competitors' grasp. I choked back the wave of anger swelling in my throat. Is Mr. Lockwood aware of this? Ethan tightened his jaw. Every senior partner has been informed. An outright falsehood. On my very first day, I was recruited by Richard Lockwood, the founder of the company. He once declared that I was the heartbeat of Lockwood and Barnett's client relations. So he just decided to let me go out of the blue without any warning at all. I couldn't believe it. I crossed my arms, striving to keep my voice steady and composed. What happens if I decide not to sign? Ethan flashed a sly smirk. While we can't compel you, it's clear that making things difficult isn't in anyone's best interest. This will impact your benefits. As per company policy, you can gather your belongings with security supervision. Safety is paramount. I chuckled briefly, but there was nothing funny about it. They weren't just letting me go. They were treating me like a criminal, a threat that needed constant surveillance. I stared at the envelope sitting right in front of me. That's 2 months' worth of pay. That's an insult. Did they honestly believe I would just go along with this without raising a fuss? I didn't sign it. Not just yet. I stood up from my chair, step by step, with intention. If this is how you value loyalty, I get it. Ethan remained unfazed, while Janine appeared visibly uneasy. She might have seen the unfairness of it all, yet felt powerless to change it. I stepped out of the conference room, envelope in hand, but my mind was a complete blank. Memories of my years at this company raced through my mind like a high-speed movie. Texty salvaged contracts, maintained clients, and worked late nights to ensure the right strategy was in place. And just like that, a sudden, chilling goodbye. As I approached my desk, a young security guard was already there, watching me with an apologetic expression. "Miss Pearson, need a hand with packing?" I locked my gaze on him. I didn't hold him responsible, but the way this company tossed people aside left me feeling trapped. Thanks, but I'll pass. I began packing my belongings with great care. Check out this amazing photo with my client team at a charity gala. Thank you notes from executives whose deals I played a crucial role in saving. A stunning crystal award that Richard Lockwood presented to me on my 20th work anniversary. Engraved with the message, "Thank you for everything you've built." A thank you that feels empty and insincere. Just as I sealed the box, my phone buzzed to life. "Here's an important message for you. Victoria just heard about this morning. Call me ASAP. Amanda Grayson." Amanda Grayson is the dynamic CEO of Grayson Industries, proudly serving as Lockwood and Barnett's largest client. I scowled. Ethan Carter appeared to think that a mere email could take my place in the minds of my clients. He just couldn't grasp that relationships aren't like a contact list that you can simply transfer. He had no idea that my game was just getting started. I stood outside the Lockwood and Barnett building, my arms heavy with the weight of my belongings. A cold breeze swept by, but the numbness I experienced had nothing to do with the weather. I faced the brutal truth of being cast aside after dedicating 27 years of my life to the company. My phone buzzed in my coat pocket. Amanda Grayson's name lights up the screen. I responded. "Victoria, what's happening here?" Amanda's voice cut through the air like a razor. "Let's get straight to the point." I knew her well enough to get it. Amanda expected an immediate answer whenever she asked a question. "I just discovered this morning. Ethan Carter let me go, claiming it was due to restructuring." Amanda broke the silence with a sharp snap. Are they completely crazy? Do they really believe I'll let some clueless fool manage my contract? I can vividly imagine her face. Piercing blue eyes, a jaw set tight. One hand clutches the desk, poised as if about to flip it over. "Who's stepping in for you?" I'm not entirely certain, but it's likely one of the junior associates. Amanda chuckled dryly. "Are you a junior associate?" Jesus, Victoria, you're the one I can count on at that firm. You excel at tackling complex issues, you navigate contract negotiations with legal expertise, and most importantly, you truly grasp our needs. Only you can make that happen. I was aware of that. Ethan Carter, however, did not. "I want to see you," Amanda pressed on. "Share your location with me, and I'll head over." Just as I was about to reply, my screen suddenly flashed with another incoming call. Brandon Hale, the dynamic CEO of Sterling Technologies, stands out as one of our firm's most essential clients. I fixed my gaze on the screen. Ethan Carter had made a serious error in judgment. Just 30 minutes later, I found myself in a cozy little cafe downtown. Amanda Grayson slammed her cappuccino onto the table, her simmering anger palpable in the air. "I can't believe they actually did something this foolish. Did you know we just secured a 3-year contract with Lockwood and Barnett, all thanks to your oversight?" I gave a firm nod. A nearly $5 million annual deal, one of the biggest contracts I've ever negotiated. "Guess what I'm about to do, Victoria?" Amanda raised an eyebrow. "I'm calling Ethan right now to let him know that if you don't return, I'll be reevaluating our contract without delay." I shook my head in disbelief. "Amanda, thanks for that, but Ethan just won't be interested. He believes I can be swapped out without a second thought. In that case, he's not very bright." "He is, but he'll come to see his mistake before long." Amanda squinted, clearly trying to decipher my intentions. Just as she was about to speak, my phone buzzed once more. "Hey there, it's Brandon Hale reaching out. Victoria, I heard about this morning. Let's chat. Give me a call when you're free, but that's not all." Just a moment later, an email popped up from Derek Vaughn, CFO of Westbridge Manufacturing, another one. A loyal client for years. "Hey, Victoria, I just found out you're no longer with Lockwood and Barnett. Let's chat. Let's dive into some important topics." I stared at my screen, my heart racing with anticipation. Amanda observed me, then flashed a knowing smirk. "We're only getting started, right?" She leaned in closer. "Ethan Carter has no idea he just triggered a ticking time bomb." I grinned. "Let's find out how he deals with the aftermath." The next morning, just as I was gearing up to head out for a meeting with one of my clients, an unknown number flashed on my screen. "Is this Victoria Pearson? Hello, this is Michael Forrester reaching out from the Boston Business Journal." I scowled. "What can I do for you today?" "We're diving into the leadership changes at Lockwood and Barnett Consulting. Several major clients are now reevaluating their contracts after your departure. What are your thoughts on this?" I gave a small smile, fully aware that I had to tread carefully. "I won't comment on Lockwood and Barnett's internal decisions. Have you considered that key clients are now insisting on contract reviews following your termination?" He pushed forward. I had the perfect response ready. "While I can't dictate my clients' choices, I firmly believe that successful business relationships go beyond mere contracts. They are founded on trust. When trust is shattered, the fallout is inevitable. What are you planning next?" I paused, stealing a glance out the window as the morning sunlight streamed through the towering skyscrapers. "Just wait and see what happens." I ended the call. Amanda was spot on. Ethan Carter had no idea he was about to ruin his own career. My clients took the reins, and I didn't have to lift a finger. Just 3 days after departing from Lockwood and Barnett, my phone was buzzing nonstop. The news of my termination rippled through the consulting industry, and the consequences were becoming unmistakably evident. Clients were pushing for contract reviews, with some even putting their partnerships on hold indefinitely. Ethan Carter was clearly racing against the clock to get the situation under control. That was no longer my concern. This morning, as I poured my first cup of coffee, my phone screen lit up with a name that caught my attention. Meet Richard Lockwood. I placed my cup down, fixated on the name. Meet the visionary behind Lockwood and Barnett, the man who brought me on board from day one. But when Ethan Carter chose to fire me, he didn't step in at all. I picked up the call. Victoria. Richard's voice hinted at exhaustion, yet he kept his signature composed tone intact. I just returned from London and caught wind of what went down. This decision was never approved by me. I paused for a moment, taking it all in. Part of me was drawn to believe him, while another part held back. So, you reached out to say you're sorry? I maintained a neutral tone. Richard let out a deep sigh. I reached out to set things straight. Come back to me, I chuckled softly, but there was no satisfaction in it. Return? Am I just going to be pushed aside again when Ethan needs to make changes? No, thanks. Ethan crossed the line, and I'm taking charge to set things right. Our major clients are in a frenzy, and many are on the verge of pulling their contracts. They desire you and no one else. It's you, Victoria. I crossed my arms and leaned back in my chair, ready for what was next. You don't really want me back because I matter. You just want me back because the company is falling apart. The silence lingered heavily on the line. We absolutely need you. There's no denying it. I realize now that I allowed this situation to escalate beyond what it should have. If I had been here, this wouldn't have gone down like this. It really did happen. I highlighted each word. I was kicked out in the most humiliating way imaginable, and you just stood by. So, now that the company is crumbling, you want me to return and fix everything? Richard fought to maintain a steady voice. I get why you're feeling frustrated. Allow me to make it up to you. I'm excited to announce that I'll be creating a new position for you, Chief Executive of Client Relations. You'll report directly to me, skipping over Ethan, boost your income, and gain greater freedom. The offer was truly compelling. I didn't reply right away. I discovered a crucial lesson. Loyalty is often the first thing tossed aside when it no longer benefits someone else. I need a moment to gather my thoughts. Hurry up, Victoria. The company can't afford to lose any more clients. I wrapped up the call without committing to anything. 3 hours later, I found myself in the office of Elliott & Co., a leading competitor of Lockwood and Barnett. Melissa Reed, the head of HR, confidently set a contract on the table in front of me. We're excited about the possibility of you joining our team, Victoria. I quickly glanced over the contract, my eyebrows raising at the figure, double what I used to earn. Melissa beamed at my response. We understand you have choices. Take a moment to think about this. Returning to Lockwood and Barnett means taking on a system that has already let you down. You'll collaborate with individuals who genuinely appreciate your contributions. She was right on the mark. Just as I was about to reply, my phone buzzed once more. Greetings from Michael Harris, the CEO of Blackwell Consulting. Victoria, I've got an exciting opportunity for you. How about we meet up tonight? I placed my phone aside and turned my attention to Melissa. I'm not ready to decide just yet, but I'll definitely give it some serious consideration. She nodded, clearly unfazed. Got it. Keep in mind, we're looking for more than just your skills. Clients rely on you completely. No company can replicate that. I walked out of her office with one undeniable truth ringing in my mind. I wasn't the one on the hunt for a job. I was the one everyone relied on. That evening, I stepped into a chic downtown restaurant where Michael Harris had secured a table just for us. Hey, Victoria, awesome to see you. He rose to his feet, reaching out his hand. I settled into my seat, keenly observing the man before me. Michael preferred to skip the small talk. Join us at Blackwell. He cut right to the chase. What's the reason behind it? We're diving into new markets, and we're on the lookout for someone who can secure major clients. Considering Lockwood and Barnett's current situation, I believe you're the key to making this happen. So, what do I get in return? With a grin, Michael slid an envelope across the table to me. I opened it and quickly scanned through the contents. Increase the salary by 2 times. Ownership in the company. I have complete control to create my own team. I glanced upward. I'll consider it. Michael tilted his head, his gaze intense. Victoria, you can do this without Lockwood and Barnett. They really need you. You get that, right? I took a sip of wine and smiled. I was all too familiar with it. Just a week after I departed from Lockwood and Barnett, the company plunged into chaos. Clients were canceling contracts in droves. The media began to probe into the unexpected collapse of a firm that was once a cornerstone of the consulting industry. I hadn't done a thing. Ethan Carter had carved out his own fate. That morning, while I enjoyed my time at a high-end cafe, diving into details with Michael Harris from Blackwell Consulting, my phone rang. Seeing the name on the screen brought a small smile to my face. Meet Richard Lockwood. Michael arched an eyebrow. They really are desperate now, aren't they? I gave a firm nod. So, I take it this call is the last offer on the table. I responded. Victoria! Richard's voice had a noticeably deeper tone compared to our last chat. Hey Richard, what's going on? Let's cut to the chase. Last night, the board convened for an emergency meeting. Ethan Carter has been voted out of his role as managing partner. I chuckled softly. Wow, that was quick. Richard let out a heavy sigh, overwhelmed by the immense losses. We've seen a staggering drop of nearly 50% in our client value in just under 2 weeks. Shareholders are livid, and investors have reached their breaking point. I took a sip of my coffee, eagerly anticipating what would unfold next. Victoria, I want you back. As the executive partner in charge of client relations, complete control. You'll be reporting straight to me. Michael's gaze was fixed on me, full of curiosity. He was clearly waiting to hear my response. I allowed Richard to sit in silence for a few moments before I replied. Sorry, Richard, but I won't be coming back. He paused in silence for what felt like an eternity. What's the reason behind this? I'm excited to offer you a higher position, all that you've ever dreamed of. I leaned in a bit, maintaining a calm tone. Lockwood and Barnett has lost the trust I once had in them. The values I established there have been shattered. Right now, it's all about those short-term numbers. It seems like no one truly cares about the clients anymore. We can turn this around, Richard urged. Let's get the company back on track, not with a foundation that's already crumbling. Embrace the silence. I could sense his frustration coming through the phone. Is this really it? Absolutely. I'm excited to announce that I'm joining Blackwell Consulting. Richard inhaled sharply, struggling to keep his anger in check. So, you're really deciding to walk away for good? No way. I took a moment before moving on. I'm taking the next step forward. Once I hung up, I placed my phone aside and turned to face Michael. They won't be around for much longer, he said. I gave a nod. Lockwood and Barnett brought about its own downfall. It's time for me to take the next step forward. Michael pushed an envelope across the table to me. Victoria, where's your contract? Welcome to Blackwell. Dive in and explore what we have to offer. I opened it and quickly scanned the terms. Understanding partnership rights. Take charge of your client management like never before. An important equity stake? At last, I signed. Michael beamed with joy. What do you think Ethan Carter is up to at this very moment? I couldn't help but chuckle softly. He's likely coming to terms with the fact that he just made the biggest mistake of his life. Just 3 months into my journey at Blackwell Consulting, I found myself in my office, gazing out at the stunning Boston skyline. The coffee on my desk had gone cold, but I was unfazed. The final document I needed to review before sending it off was right there on my laptop screen. Here's the acquisition agreement for Lockwood and Barnett. I inhaled deeply and then clicked. Transgression. After 27 years of dedication, the company I had committed myself to was on the brink of joining forces with Blackwell. A perfect conclusion for those who viewed me as expendable. On Monday morning, Lockwood and Barnett held an all-company meeting in the largest conference room at headquarters. The employees assembled, their expressions tight as they focused on the stage where Richard Lockwood stood alongside the board members. The company has faced significant turmoil over the last 3 months. Clients are walking away, our reputation is taking a hit, and employees are quitting left and right. Richard tapped the microphone lightly, his voice filled with hope. I've got some exciting news to share today. All eyes turned, and the room was enveloped in silence. Lockwood and Barnett has landed an exciting new partnership, a chance to revitalize our reputation and reclaim our position in the industry. Whispers ripple through the crowd. Richard cleared his throat and flashed a confident smile. Exciting news! Victoria Pearson is back to take the reins of our client relations division. Shocked whispers surged through the room like a tidal wave. I stood up from my seat in the front row and walked onto the stage, sensing the intensity of every gaze fixed on me. Richard gazed at me with a sense of relief, as if he truly thought he had succeeded in persuading me to return. I stayed calm, grabbed the microphone, and surveyed the audience. Thanks, Richard. I just need to clarify something. I took a moment, allowing the impact of my words to resonate before moving on. I won't be going back to Lockwood and Barnett as an employee. Today, I'm excited to share that Blackwell Consulting, supported by R&H Capital, has successfully acquired this company. The room went completely still. Richard tensed, his fingers clenching the microphone with determination. The board members shot each other wide-eyed looks. Some employees stared in disbelief, while others quickly fell into urgent, quiet conversations. What's going on? Richard stumbled over his words. I locked eyes with him. Today, Lockwood and Barnett is now part of Blackwell Consulting. We are set to take charge of all business operations, encompassing clients, personnel, and the organizational structure. Richard fixed his gaze on me, fighting to pull himself together. When did you start planning this? I smiled, my voice unwavering. Not for long. However, you definitely decided to put your trust in the wrong individual. The atmosphere in the room crackled with tension. Richard faced the board members. Yet silence reigned. They were already aware. I pressed on. We're committed to avoiding mass layoffs, but we will be making some changes. One of the top priorities is to bring this company back to its core values, its clients, and its team. I moved aside to let Michael Harris, the CEO of Blackwell, pass by. He stepped onto the stage, his powerful presence captivating everyone in the room. Blackwell sees incredible potential in Lockwood and Barnett, but it's been mismanaged for far too long. We're ready to steer this company back on course, and the perfect leader for that mission is Victoria Pearson. Applause erupted from employees, some quick to grasp the moment, while others stood frozen in disbelief. Richard shot me one final glance, his eyes brimming with disappointment and bitterness. Congratulations, you did it. I shrugged my shoulders. I took the action you should have taken ages ago. Richard nodded slowly, then stepped off the stage and quietly exited the conference room. As the meeting wrapped up, I stepped out to a mix of handshakes, congratulations, and cautious looks from my former colleagues. Michael Harris leaned in, speaking in a hushed tone. What's it like to take the reins of the company that once let you go? I inhaled deeply, embracing a wave of calm satisfaction. It's not about revenge. It's about making things right. We stepped out of the conference room, leaving a company poised for its most exciting transformation yet. I just got back. I had taken back everything. I'm doing it my way. Just 3 months after Blackwell Consulting wrapped up the acquisition of Lockwood and Barnett, I found myself in my new office, gazing down at the vibrant city of Boston below. The surroundings felt familiar, yet the atmosphere within the company had completely transformed. Embrace courage. Let's ditch the pointless meetings that waste time on cost-cutting and shift our focus back to what really matters. Our clients. We kept the majority of the team intact, only letting go of those who didn't align with our new direction. The results were undeniable. Clients are coming back. The company is on the path to restoring its reputation. Revenue surpassed expectations. I dove into a personnel report, eagerly scanning the latest updates. Dominic Carter is no longer with the company. I gave a small smile. A few weeks ago, Dominic faced one last meeting with the board before his final departure. He attempted to rationalize his failures, pointing fingers at market conditions and unforeseen client choices. Yet, the truth was known by all. He had completely unraveled. After his dismissal from Lockwood and Barnett, Dominic found himself at a small, lesser-known consulting firm. Without a reputation, he's missing out on the lucrative contracts he used to enjoy. Once the center of attention, he now finds himself shunned, with former admirers steering clear as if he were contagious. The latest update I got is that Dominic is making a push to get back into the industry by applying for mid-level positions. But it seems like trust is a big hurdle for him now. All his hard work, forged through relentless choices, now lies in ruins. What about Richard Lockwood? Following the surprise of that company-wide meeting, he found himself with no option but to take on a consulting role, lacking any real authority. Blackwell was too savvy to dismiss him entirely. After all, he was a company founder with invaluable experience. However, he had lost control over the future of this firm. For the first time in his career, Richard found himself on the sidelines, observing as others made the crucial decisions, unable to step in and influence the outcome. Who is the person he now reports to? One morning, while I was diving into a new contract, my assistant walked in. "Victoria, Mr. Lockwood wants to meet with you." I nodded, shut my file, and stepped into the private conference room. Richard was already seated, appearing even more worn than before. I slid into a chair, eager for him to share his thoughts. I have to say, you absolutely nailed that game. He spoke in a low voice. I took action and got it done. Richard let out a dry, humorless chuckle. If I could rewind 3 months, I would change everything I did. Trusting Dominic was a mistake. I was mistaken to believe I could control the situation. I lost you. I stayed silent, allowing him to confront the truth by himself. At last, I responded. Your biggest mistake was not trusting Dominic. It overlooked the contributions of the individuals who were instrumental in building this company from the ground up. Richard nodded slowly, a spark of realization lighting up his expression as he grasped what he should have known all along. Half a year later, I walked out of the boardroom with Michael Harris, the CEO of Blackwell. We've just wrapped up the quarterly financial report. Revenue has surged by 27% compared to last year, Michael exclaimed, his voice brimming with pride. We're proud to share that our client retention rate stands at an impressive 96%. I've added it. Pretty impressive for a company that was on the verge of going under, right? I grinned. Pretty good, actually. As we stepped out of the building, the afternoon sunlight stretched long shadows across the bustling sidewalk. Are you feeling any regret about not returning to Lockwood and Barnett? Michael inquired. I shook my head in disbelief. Absolutely not. I never really went away. Michael raised an eyebrow, clearly eager for me to dive deeper. I faced him, my voice unwavering. I didn't return to be just another employee. I came back to take charge and own it. That evening, as I settled into my private office and gazed out at the vibrant streets of Boston, a realization struck me. In the professional services industry, real assets go beyond mere numbers on a report, brand names, or hastily signed contracts. They are individuals. They are reliability. These are the enduring connections forged through time. Lockwood and Barnett overlooked that crucial detail, and they faced the consequences. I took a sip of wine, savoring the satisfaction, not from revenge, but from the thrill of proving I was right. There are times when justice speaks louder than any courtroom ever could. No verdict is necessary. Just hang in there, and the truth will come to light. Victoria's story unfolds as a gripping tale of betrayal and retribution. There's no doubt about it. People are the true value in any organization. Many companies, in their quest for short-term profit, treat employees like mere numbers, easily discarded. They overlook the fact that relationships and trust are invaluable assets. When a business loses the individuals who generate true value, it inevitably undermines its very foundation. Justice doesn't always mean seeking revenge. At times, all it takes is a bit of patience and allowing the truth to shine through on its own. Victoria's story proves that real worth isn't found in a job title. It's all about trust and perseverance. What's your take on her decision? What would you have done differently if you were in her shoes? We want to hear from you. Share your thoughts and be sure to follow the channel for more captivating stories about life, family, and real-world justice.